We weren't live. I was talking to nobody.
No, you were live Facebook.
All right.
But now you're beautifully lit for live. You're beautifully lit for live YouTube. Welcome everybody on live
YouTube. Welcome to live YouTube to our.
But now I'm going to share on Facebook. Get over here. I'm so excited to have you on the podcast. We haven't had you on the podcast for a while.
No, I'm a busy.
Oh my God. It's like I did this. So I put, let's see, where is this? This is the microphone. This needs to go here.
Get yourself all situated.
And then I need to tuck in.
Tuck it.
Because the back needs to pull down. Because this shirt's just a little, I ordered a 3XL of this shirt. And I probably could have got away with a 2XL. Because there's a little bit of sagging going on. But that makes it, let's just put it.
Is that better?
Oh, much better. Look at
the buff.
Yeah, there you go.
Guns.
Yeah, and so what we got to try and do is look at each other, look at the camera. I am the worst at it. So
I'm always talking to the camera.
Yeah, you should always
All of your viewers.
Yeah, we're going to start.
Watched any previous podcasts know that I talk to the camera.
So we're on Facebook.
I don't need to talk to this over here because that's just.
Well, that's vanity over there, right?
I'd prefer to not look at that.
So there we go. We're looking good. All right. There we go. We already got a comment, but that's normal.
Oh.
All right. Let's share. All right. Let me share to the groups, guys.
I suppose I can look too in case there's a comment to
share to a
respond to.
Roxy and bourbon. So tonight we got a couple surprises, and so this should hopefully not take too long.
There's surprises?
Yeah, there's always surprises, isn't there? Let's see if I could do this. Bourbon with the ladies, because we got a lady on tonight, everybody.
The ladies.
Oh, I got to turn that. I just can't wait, because normally this is where
Oh, there you are.
Share. I can't believe it. I just was sharing Roxy and bourbon. I shared to 3 places and then got kicked out. Okay.
Oh, wait, I didn't mean to do that. Roxy and Tiny Talk.
3 places and then got.
Apparently, I can't.
Wisconsin Bourbon
look at
Club.
The comments without turning the sound out.
Bourbon.
So there we go. I turned the sound out.
So tonight we're going to talk about one where the Scotchy Bourbon Boys.
You forgot something. You forgot what's in the fridge upstairs.
What did I forget? What's in the fridge upstairs?
Mm-hmm.
Did I forget the bourbon balls?
Yeah, I thought we were gonna.
That's up to you. That's up to you. Just hold on, folks. We're gonna get running in it. I'm just gonna basically share to a bunch of groups like we always do.
Not too many.
Oh, I know. It's just like the other day I was like not too many, and I just got all of a sudden I was in Facebook jail for a day and a half. I don't know how this. I do not know.
That's your second home.
You know,
that's Jeff's second home.
I was thinking about that ice cream social. The ice cream social Maker's Mark being one that you haven't even tasted yet.
That's true. We have not opened that. This might be a good time to do that.
Yeah, it might be. I try and do like 40.
Because you know how much I love Maker's Mark.
Bourbon and cigars.
So I have my Maker's Mark pin on my hat.
Bourbon Club.
I think so.
High Oak Bourbon. So we're just sharing to the groups to get going. We'll be going in a second, everybody. I'm not getting killed or yelled at yet. You got the Mavens.
It'll happen.
No, the last time I shared to 47 groups. And then what I'm going to do is share to some people, like specifically. It's always good to share to
some of your
peeps. Well, the last live we had Alan Bishop and Dimmick. We had Derek. He was a rum guy. Greg Schneider was on. I mean, we were talking to a lot of people in the industry, so I like to. But, tonight, I think a lot of people are going to join us because you're here. I mean, This is a rare, what would you say? A rare
Rare.
downstairs. Yes, you're not on a lot of podcasts in the bourbon, studios. If you're on a podcast, it's usually you're recording or you're doing stuff out in the field, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, well,
I mean, that's how that works. Usually, we have a.
usually I'm putting a small child to bed.
Yes, I didn't say you weren't. But to have you on
A
and
small human.
well, tonight when you mentioned it earlier today, I really got excited.
I said yes, then I said no, then I said okay, then I said no, and now here I am.
Well, it wasn't no because you didn't want it. It never was no because you didn't want to do it until when it got overbearing. It's kind of like, what was your comment? You don't have to do anything. You just sit down. And if you look, I mean, I did shave the neck, but if you look at my color and look at your color. I mean, you could just, I'm the, yes. And so you have to make it so that you don't look
like a ghost.
Yes, exactly. So we got all the stuff, all the things shared too.
Okay.
There we go. So we're shared. I'm going to all the stuff. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
I got to turn that down. All right. So here, let me give one. Let's share. I'm wrong. I want to share to some on Messenger. Let's share to let's see. Yeah, that would be a good one. I'll send it to Daniela.
Oh, yeah.
James Jacobs, he's a good guy. I was looking at pictures from last year. James Jacobs, we ran into him at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and he was.
I got my festival hat on.
See chat. All right, he was. What is going on with that? I got to see this again. All right, share to your story page group, send in Messenger. All right. And so send. Yeah, now let's see. Is it going to say sent? No, it says see chat. I have no idea what that means.
I
but
don't know. I don't do that.
We're going to, Mike, I was over. But what was I talking about?
Don't know.
I think I sent that to him. Did I send it to? Yeah, I already sent it to Greg Schneider, I think. Well, let's send it again.
You need that like waiting music to be playing in the background.
There's no music needed. Ann Dimmick, I haven't sent it to her. I want to do that. Bill.
I'm hearing imaginary waiting music.
I'm looking for I'm actually looking for Alan. I wanted to send it to Alan, and then there's one other person, and I don't get to. Not tonight. That's okay. That's all right. So we sent it to some people. We've got some people watching already. I know Patrick Taylor's watching. So
Patrick.
I'm right here. We've got that. Why does it keep doing that? All right. So I can monitor the Facebook right there.
Yep.
So I'll monitor the chats.
Monitoring as well here.
So you monitor. Great.
That was next one.
Yeah, that's something. And then we're a
little cramped back here.
We're always cramped.
We have something in the works to remedy that. But
yes, I can't wait for that. And when that happens, but it's like also it's being remedied by Scotchy Bourbon Boys.
Yes,
so that's right. One of the cool things about doing a podcast and everything. We've got my barrel shelf to the right of us over there that holds a lot of barrel. Jason Sparkman, thank you so much for making that. We're gonna
so cool.
We're gonna hear Kenny Fuller's theme song. I mean, talk about cool, right?
It's catchy.
Yeah, it's catchy. And then I gotta just turn. You're so loud in this microphone.
Oh, we'll turn it down.
No, I'm turning it down. I turned it down. I'm ready to go as far as starting to record. I've got that ready to go as far as so what did you let's just with Facebook and YouTube, you guys, tonight it's really kind of cool. We are going to be talking a little bit since Roxy hasn't been on from a Roxy standpoint. I mean, she's been on
since the festival, actually.
But even just me and you downstairs talking about bourbon. without a guest.
That's true.
I think it's.
I don't know when the last time we did that
I
was.
think the last time that wall back there was blank. We were just sitting.
I do actually think you're correct.
Yeah, we were sitting in front of this bar, and there was nothing behind us.
With just bricks.
Yeah. So we've talked about a little bit about your journey, and we're going to talk about that more as we get going. And you have a whole different perspective than what I've got, right?
I do.
Well, I mean, for instance, these glasses that we have here, these beautiful glasses that she wanted to use from the Kentucky Derby. That's something I'm always looking for, glassware with logos of, here's Curly with the Bourbon Festival and the Beeline and Heaven Hill. So that's what I'm looking for. And then I'm also looking for cool glassware, like what we've got in our glasses. I'm always looking for crystal
art.
Yes. And so between the two of us, now I always buy 5 or 6, and you always buy 1 or 2.
2,
which is perfect.
You need at least a pair. Right?
I don't think we've drank out of these glasses, and this is a specific tasting glass that was made by a panel of master distillers to come up to taste bourbon, the best of bourbon. Right. The Glencairn, even though it is the glass of choice, this was created in Kentucky to taste bourbon and smell bourbon. So,
right. And it's in this pattern, which I think was not last year but the year before, because last year was, or this year I guess, was like an autumn themed painting on this, and this is a springy themed painting, but I only saw rocks glasses and a decanter. And then when we were at help me out, what was the name of the
Green, was it Green it's Green Acres? No. Green. It was the liquor store. It's the new liquor store, and
you don't remember either.
It was
it's not Green anything.
Green. Well, actually, I think Greg Schneider, who's watching tonight, knows the name of the. No, it's Greg, Green something.
Save us, please.
It's the liquor store that they just put in. Greg, if you could comment, that would tell us. I'm having a mental block. The one that you did the bottle signing at Kentucky Bourbon Festival. So if you have that, give me.
Anyway, we'll soon find out the name. See, yes. And that is where these glasses were sitting.
Evergreen.
You're sort of you.
No, 100%.
The green. You're right. The green. It wasn't green something, but it was evergreen. So perfect. Your memory served you well.
Yes, it was evergreen. Thank you, Greg.
Great liquor store, nice bar, and these were just dusty on a top shelf there, and I was like, oh. Pretty glasses. And then everybody from our party went back and bought the rest of them.
How could they be dusty?
Well, they were dusty up there.
But they can't be dusty. That place just opened that week. I mean, it's just like the store it was a brand new liquor store that opened the week of and there's wow, that must have been a lot of quick dust, right? I mean, there must have been some dust in the, getting ready.
I mean, they were all alone.
Okay, so maybe there was, although there could have been sawdust.
And nothing. They were sad.
Yeah.
They cried.
And they cried for you to buy them.
They did.
Yes. So that's one of the different things that I always find that it's unique of what you go out there and you actually find and buy all the stuff, and then what you found.
We should have a contest.
Oh, no, we shouldn't.
Yeah, a contest. How many times Roxy rolls her eyes when Tiny says something? I've already done it like twice.
A contest or just a count? Who's going to count? Time. Why are you rolling your eyes? I don't understand. I can't even see you.
That's right. I'm watching. Okay. You'll have to watch it later.
All right. So I'll just get up here and
sorry, I interrupted you.
You didn't interrupt. Shh. Anyways, I'll be good. So tonight, just before we get going on this podcast, we're just going to go over. We do this podcast, Super Nash. CT does it, and also whiskey. Mm-hmm. And we're constantly buying and tasting whiskey.
You think?
And now you, on the other hand, you did go to Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and you do a lot of tours with me, and bourbon on the banks, and then when we were down in I don't remember what. Well, we went down to
I
see.
didn't taste a lot of bourbon in the banks.
We just went down to see Standy
'Cause
the
I
one
was
time, and on the
working.
one we came back home, and we went to the Kentucky Artesian Distilleries, which comes with Oceans and Jefferson, and we were, and so that's where you get most of your tasting.
That
Now
is when we tour and taste.
But
Well, we tasted like so many things at the festival. So
yeah, there was so many. That's a good place too. At festivals is a good place to do all your tasting, to find out what's being released. And
right.
so there's a bunch of stuff out there that you don't get, that I get to taste, and you don't always get to taste, right? So when you think about it, what we're going to do tonight is I want you to catch up just a little bit because you're part of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys and girls, and I should monitor. Okay, so I got to make sure that the microphone there. But so you're part of that whole thing, and you've tasted a lot of good bourbon. But at the same time, this year I wanted to include you in the whole bourbon of the year type thing. Although when we finally choose it, you're gonna blind us. You're going to do the blind, but you get to do your pick without having to be blinded. You know what I mean?
Well, I sort of already picked it.
Well, after tonight, I might be able to change your mind. That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
Because there is some stuff that you never got to taste,
sure.
that's out there that I was tasting. That I was good. Yeah. And there's stuff that I picked up when I was just down there by myself that, I hid. Because you get to see the receipts, but you don't always know what the bourbon or what it is. And I think the way that you deal with me and my hobby, which is partially your hobby, is that you see the receipts, but you're able to put it on the back burner and kind of just ignore it.
Speak for thyself.
You can't ignore it. How does that work?
All right, folks, can you ignore what's to the right, to the left, behind, over there? Nope, we've run out of space.
So Greg said he's in South Dakota pheasant hunting, and he stopped into his bedroom to call his girlfriend, and we were there. So he's just on perfect timing. So, but yes,
there's a really bad joke in there.
What? Yes, I'm sure there is, and that's where your mind goes.
I'll
and that's
tell you about that joke at a later date.
Okay.
Greg.
Okay. So, anyways, let's get the actual podcast rolling.
Okay.
So that, because we don't have a lot of time tonight, and we're gonna try and make this.
We have all the time in the world, I guess.
Oh my God! You are so.
But we don't.
Wait, did you just say what? Where did pre-Roxy go? Pre-podcast Roxy go? Because this just is podcast Roxy, and we have all the time in the world.
Stressing.
Stress. That's yeah, but not bad. But we got through it.
No.
I was able to come up with something. All right, so here we go. Got to be quiet for 30 seconds, and then I got to play the intro. All right.
Drinking bourbon, sipping on some scotch. We get a little wild, but it's sure fun to watch. We love what we do, we're drinking every brew. Man, we talk some shit, but we're telling the truth. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, raisins in hell and making some noise. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, we're here to have fun and we hope you enjoy.
All right. That was Kenny Fuller of the Old Americana, Luca Mariano Old Americana Band. Thank you, Kenny. I thank him every time. If you ever get a chance, you look him up on YouTube. He's got some good stuff on there.
Mhm.
It's been a while since we've seen Kenny, but I look forward to the next time. He's just a great guy, and we appreciate everything that he's done for the Scotchy Bourbon Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, throughout. I'm Tiny.
And I'm Roxy.
And we are together for on a podcast, just the two of us, for the first time, I think, in like a year and a half. I mean, we've got our backdrop, but you can't see that on the audio, but back there. And I think when we did it the last time, there was nothing back there, and now it's it's a nice podcast studio backdrop, and then. Remember, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all Scotchy Bourbon Boys things. The shout out to Brent Patron. He basically, Dan from our shop actually went on the website and contacted me and ordered 2 packs of bourbon balls. We're going to be making those next week, folks, and those are available on the website. But if you actually contact me direct, Facebook Messenger or anything like that, I will definitely make sure that you get your bourbon balls. Those will be coming out, and I believe this batch is going to be at 8 weeks and Michter's. So very, very exciting. And then also, we're on all the major podcast formats, YouTube, Instagram podcast formats, Apple, iHeart, Spotify, Google. Ask Alexa or Siri, and they to play the Scotchy Bourbon Boys podcast, and they will do so for you. And then also all the social media platforms, which is Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X. Just keep trying to push things more and more. There's a lot of stuff. The greatest hits of all our podcasts are on YouTube. And YouTube, you get some added extra videos of our experiences. So check us out there. So Roxy, what's been happening?
What's been happening?
Yeah, what's been happening as far as what we've been doing? I mean,
Well, we just finished a bourbon late summer, early fall bonanza, right? We had the
Hold on one second. Alice, I can hear it. Thank you. Our granddaughter. There you go. A late fall
to bed.
Yes. You are by us. We'll be up as soon as we're finished. Right now we're recording, and you shouldn't be saying this. We'll be up. Go. Thank you. Love you, dear. So that's that's
what I'm usually doing when Jeff's podcasting.
Yeah, making sure. Now she has
the wee one to bed.
Well, she has come down before, and she just likes to listen and whatnot. But it's not the greatest thing for Although she still can. It's funny. She knows what a single barrel is. So
I don't think you should admit that.
Well, she's smart. I mean, she knows that she doesn't want to drink it, but she knows she picks things up because we talk. So that happens all the time. So, anyways, go back to
So we had the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and then Bourbon on the Banks, and you took several other trips that I did not take.
Yes, well, we took Randy. We went with Randy, El Presidente, and Kate.
Took him to the Packers game, which was awesome, and they won.
Yes,
which is a rare occasion this season. So.
Yeah, and then we just last Sunday were at Liberty Pole Spirits or the Mingo Creek Craft Distillery.
Yep, that's a mouthful.
With Jim Hugh and his sons. I'm not even. I think I got it. Rob and Kevin. Yes, I got
Yes.
that, and his wife Ellen. So I think there you go. So that sunk in. That's amazing. That must have made it really good. But we went there. I
Impression.
mean, but what I want you to do, yes, we did all that. Everybody kind of sees all the stuff, but talk about it from your perspective. You know what? So I usually am out there doing a lot of stuff. I'm trying to get people to come on the podcast. I'm talking to
Mm-hmm.
people. And then I'm also trying to have an experience of drinking and everything. But at the same time, talk about it from your perspective. You're part of the podcast. You do a lot of the filming. We keep.
Yeah. So, I mean, my perspective is that it's a tremendous amount of work. So I'm sort of like the AV specialist, the make sure everything's packed specialist, the setup specialist, the man the booth, tent, table, desk specialist, the take the money specialist,
Yeah, and
and
how we take payments.
kind of keep you, on schedule. So I'm like your personal assistant.
Yes, and you're also kind of like my personal trainer. So you got to
Well,
kind
I'm
of.
a very detail orientated person, and you're more of a, social butterfly, fly by the seat of your pants person, which is not a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
Except when it comes to the details of the podcast and the
Right.
techno.
Well, you have
but
that
but I
pretty
have to
much down. I don't have anything to do with the
but I have
editing
to
and the
focus on that
producing.
so much that I
Right.
can't focus on anything else. And you're always taking care of those details, right?
Sure. It's doing something like we did for the first time ever at Bourbon on the Banks, having a tent. I don't know what. I don't know
Well,
if a tent's
actually,
the right word.
with
A
Commerce,
yeah,
we've done the podcast thing. Well, we did it the first year at,
yeah. Where we
but not
brought
like
some
this.
new things there. We got lanyards that hold Glencairns. Those were very popular. We had we had, like you said, some commerce. We did a raffle, so we had someone bring chairs for a raffle. We had uh, we made it our mission, at least myself and a few others, while you were off doing your interviews and tasting all the bourbons. We kind of made it our mission to pass out cards, talk to people, get more exposure for the podcast. And that's all fine. Like everybody has their own, part to play in making this work. So.
Well, we were trying.
But I mean, that kind of equates to you got to go have all the fun.
I wish I
I'm not
did.
complaining. And then I stayed back and, we kind of did the dirty, nitty gritty work of it.
I don't know if I had all. I mean, I walked around the festival once and then we booked podcasts and we did the 3 podcasts.
Yeah.
And it was over. So I felt the same way. You miss out on it somewhat. But yes, while I did a little bit of videography and it was out, I did get to walk through it once. And I think you got to go about 20 feet.
I went from our booth to the bathroom and back.
Which you don't with the with the festivals. I would
and to the food, right? At one point, I went and got you some food.
Yeah, because otherwise
you're in big trouble. Yeah, if you don't put anything in your stomach. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that aspect. There's no doubt, but also then there's keeping me in line overall. Doing 2 podcasts a week at 8. It's not that bad when you do it. It's after work and we're both whatever, and a lot of times you get you'll I'll be getting ready, we talk a little bit, you'll do some of your work at night because of your business, and then when it's finished we kind of meet up, but overall
you usually bring something nice up to
well, that's
for me to taste. You're like, hey, taste this.
Well, if I taste something fantastic, I let you I bring it up for you to taste, and you probably say yes 60% of the time, and then the other 40% I'm like, ooh, I get another one. So, but there's you got to admit, with the podcast, we taste so much whiskey, but there's a lot of really good whiskey, right?
Oh, there sure is. There's almost no bad whiskey. I mean, there's a lot of different whiskeys, so there's whiskeys out there for everybody. Every flavor profile is in this, podcast studio. So,
Yes.
it's fun to taste different things, but every once in a while, certain things stand out. I mean, we both have our, go-to favorite bourbons, and but I love single barrels. Everybody knows that. I say it over and over. I just think it's so much fun to try something, buy something that you're never going to have again.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the whole aspect of for me this year especially, I have not been able to really have a go-to. I think when I have indulged too much, it's based off of I've tasted 9 different expressions. It's not just there's been no like I mean, I think like in April or March or late March, early April when we did my fantasy baseball draft. That's the last time I think I had an evening, and I believe it was Old Tub. I had went to Wisconsin and I just picked up one of those, and I was that, but I didn't drink on that one. I didn't drink nowhere near as much as, on whatever. So I think I drank like, 3 or 4 pours of Old Tub but other than that, isolating on a one night thing and staying with something, which was something that I might have done 3 years ago,
Right.
I don't have that luxury anymore. And that's one thing, when you drink, not drink, taste,
Right.
taste for a living, or not a living, but taste for a profession, right?
Sure.
This is a profession. It's not a living because it's not there.
Well, you certainly can't rate bourbons and partake all of that knowledge to everybody that's listening if you don't taste them. So
right. And
that's the whole point of this, is to taste. We get the opportunity to taste a lot more than the average person does. If
well, we're also randomly getting like 13 Colonies, which is out of Georgia. They just sent up 2 bottles. They're sending up another bottle.
Samples come.
Heaven's Door contacted me. We're going to be having a podcast with their master blender. And they're going to, so what the people who are contacting us and sending us samples are way more. And I used to actually have to ask for samples. Now I don't. What I say is, if they've contacted me and I say, do you guys want us to sample something, or do you just want to talk about it? Because I'm fine with just talking about it at this point, especially if something if I've never sampled it, I would like to be able to, if I have you on the podcast, that way. But at the same time, it's great having you here tonight because we've got all these glasses out front and we're going to be tasting a bunch of stuff. Now, so think about it. You were talking about what, at first I said, I really want to narrow down and make you think about and taste a couple bourbons to come up with a way to come up with your bourbon of the year. Because you don't taste that many great bourbons. And I know there's a lot of bourbons out there. And I also kind of know your palate. Now, when we're talking about bourbon of the year this year, we're not talking about finished bourbons. They have to be, they could be aged. They have to be at least straight bourbon whiskey. They have to they have to be aged in the new charred oak barrel and all the rules of bourbon. But their finishing barrels, if they do finish them in, have to also be French oak charred or similar. Right. It's got to be a new charred oak barrel to finish. Now, a lot of people are doing double oaks and not final double oaks. I mean, what I wish that the double oak that Chicken Cock did would have been, but that was a bourbon or a whiskey that was distilled as bourbon and had to be aged in used oak barrels. And then it wasn't quite to the standard of Greg Schneider's liking, so they aged it further in new oak barrels. So the used oak barrel makes it not qualify. Now, Chicken Cock has been doing a lot of stuff, but a lot of stuff is in their finishing and whatnot. So,
and those are still fantastic and delicious, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh I love finished bourbons. I mean, we could have a subcategory, the finished bourbon of the year. We could have a subcategory of single barrels, but we do not eliminate single barrels from the bourbon of the year. I mean, I understand if we find a single barrel, it might have been limited release, but at the same time, we found it and it's possible. So it just comes down to what our palates are. CT will pick one. Have a couple. Me and Super Nash will have a couple that we're thinking of, and then each one has to pick one. And you're gonna on the podcast on I think it's the Friday, December 15th podcast.
I will lay out the blinds.
We're gonna taste them all blind, and we're gonna pick a Scotchy Bourbon Boys Bourbon of the Year. But you have to have one in there, and then also you get a vote. You don't have to taste it blind like we do, but we're going to pick it.
Well, you could.
We're going to see what picks what we pick blind.
Taste them blind. That'd be okay.
All right.
That would make it totally legit, right?
Yeah, we could do that too. What if we survive the podcast? Now, there's that. So there's one that let's just start off. Let's give me the pause. This is from Neely. Now, this was their bottle at the festival. This was signed by Royce's dad. This is a single barrel, but it's a bottled in bond. And so Neely doesn't have a lot of, because they're younger, they don't have a lot of 4-year type stuff. You want to see if you can find the place to open. I don't even know where it is. Wait, let me just do this. There, I'll just get. It's funny when I'm trying. It's a fresh crack, and I just wanted to see where they're at. I
have a fresh crack.
I didn't even get to taste this at the festival. I was, now at the festival, I actually think you got to go at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
I think I did a lot more tasting there than you did.
Yeah, because when you left out. All right, I almost got it. I'm just going to rip it off here. You hear that, guys? There, I got that off. Now, it has a tax stamp, so we're going to break that. And here we go. That's a cork?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cork, all right.
Give me one of your small Glencairns. We're just going to go like this. A little taste.
That's perfect.
We'll do little tastes. I don't mind little tastes. So this is it's a bottled in bond. So it's 4 years old. And it was a single barrel. I don't know what that is. What's that noise? That's either your phone or my phone. Who knows?
Not mine.
I'm going to put that back up there. This was his birthday barrel. It's really kind of, it's pretty good. I'm liking it.
It's sweet.
It's sweet. It's got a little bit of caramel, a little bit of nuts. It's almost like a zag nut to me. And
no, it's hazelnutty.
It being a
what's a zag nut?
A candy bar.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like, what's the nut?
I think it's a peanut with caramel.
Oh.
I think that's what it is. I like it. It's good. I like that you don't get the 100 proof, and it's now we're talking 4 years. And when you're getting Neely that's an aged bourbon for them, and I've been waiting to be able to taste that, so I really enjoyed that one. Good palate start, yeah. Right? All right. So you want to talk about, let's start with what you like the best. Okay. So we went to.
You were going to save that. But
no, I would. No. I think you should set the standard.
I gave everybody a clue.
You should set the standard. Yes, you're doing. She likes a well, and also I have to do a shout out to. You can pour the little pours, but I give a shout out to Randy, uh, the Cantor Club Polo with the 2023 Kentucky Bourbon Festival. This was what just came, which is awesome. So
you only get a little because it's mine.
Yeah, well, it's ours. You know. Mine. So I would say what has changed between me and you in 2023. Well, switch that around so it doesn't. Yeah, put it the other way so it.
I was reading it first,
and that's just killing the microphones when you do that. So when you spin it,
yeah,
don't drag it.
Don't drag it because
So
it's loud. Sorry.
what in 2023 between me and you has changed when it comes to bourbon? And I mean, I have the answer. I think in the past, as we were growing the collection, for me, it was, you would be like, stop, nope, no more, stop. And yes, when we went to Kentucky Bourbon Festival, we had saved up and we did a bunch of stuff like that.
Knew which ones we were going to buy.
But I think this year you participate. And I've been to the point where I need to stop. And you're like,
I say, nope, buy that.
Yep.
Nope, one,
that's good.
Bring that one home.
So I would say starting in when we went in March to the Galena, and I was like, yeah, you're like, so one of the things that we have to get started and I want to do for 2024 is our, I have executive bourbon steward, and I want to offer tastings for people, either online tastings where we send you the bourbon.
Yep.
And then we do a Zoom meeting like this with you and your friends, and we could send the samples based off of how many, and we do a Zoom meeting and we walk through a tasting. It comes with a tasting mat and everything like that. Yep. So
probably some bourbon balls.
Yes, and it would come. You're right. So there's different levels of tastings. It'll depend on what I will put out, what bourbons I have, and you can pick what they are based off, and then we can go off of, because it's just all about expense, not about secondary. If I get it on the regular MSRP like we do in here in Ohio, I won't charge. The charge will, based off of just doing the tasting and the time,
right,
but not being charged excessively for, $200 when it's only, an $89 bottle. So, all right. So anyways, so let's go. So this one is Voyage 29, the Weeded Oceans Voyage. Now, we had an Ohio pick a couple years ago, and it was straight up French toast, delicious. Yep. I couldn't believe how good it is. I savored it. I kept the bottle. That's how good it was. But this particular bottle, we just on a whim, I said, we could stop. We were going to stop someplace else, and they were closed. So I'm like, let's go to the Kentucky Artisan Distillery and see what that's all about. Now, we know Ben Eves, and he actually was there when we were there, got to talk to him a little bit and say hi. But we stopped in, took the tour, found out about what they were doing, found out all about the oceans. But this weeded bottle, I haven't even seen it in Ohio yet, but it was released at the distillery, and we tasted it, and it was fantastic. So that was one time we had bought already a bunch of bourbon, and we were on our way back, and I was like, I don't know if, and she's like, get that one. No, you have to get that bottle. And we ended up getting also the Dancing Goat?
I think
the
so.
Billy Goat.
The Billy Goat.
That's right back there. Haven't opened that one yet. But here, cheers to this one. Now, when you're talking about, when we and Roxy were talking a little bit, talk about we were talking about what would be your bourbon of the year.
Yeah, when you asked me first, I said, I need time to think about it. Like, don't just spring it on me. I got to really think. And so it didn't take long for me to remember that the one that stood out the most for me this year was this. I said, oh, it's the Oceans Weeded Voyage 29.
And based off
and what is the proof on this?
All right. I believe Oceans is, I want to say 92.5, but nope, 90 proof, 90, which is fine. So
That's
this
so
this
good.
voyage was calm. It I could give you, but when we do, but this was a fantastic, fantastic weeded bourbon that picked up. This is what you would think it would taste like. I've had the other weeded voyages, and it's not quite as good.
No.
This is brown sugar, a little bit of maple. There's then it goes, the maple goes to like a syrup. I mean, and then you get like a little bit of a wheat, like a whole wheat bread in there in on the back too. Like it's almost like having I don't get like the French toasted oak aspect of it, but
It's there, but it's not overly oaky. So it's a
right.
subtle oak, but it just finishes so sweet.
It's
Not overly sweet, but
delightful.
yeah, in all parts of your mouth. I can taste it on the lips, on the tongue, on the back of the throat. So it has this really full mouth feel. It's buttery, so it's got that, you know, creamy, buttery feel when you sip it.
It's very good.
There's even some a hint of some floral and fruit notes. Like there's just so many different flavors at all the different stages, from the nosing it to the, you know, tasting to the finish. Is there is consistency. So people that say, "Oh, I don't like a bourbon that is completely tastes different than how I nose it," that's not the case with this. But there's so many different flavor notes that come out at all three of those, um, stages in your mouth and on your palate. I think that's why I liked it. I love bourbons that have a long finish, and I can still taste it. And it's been a few minutes here since I took a sip. Um, there's a nice warm hug. It doesn't roast you all the way down, but it's there and it's nice.
Yeah, Jason Giles, he mentions he likes them and they're a great pour. This one specifically, but what I want to also talk about, you're tasting this one, and you have a good palate. You pick out, especially when it comes to White Dog or White Lightning, or the right distill this the distillate off the still.
Yeah, it's something about that. I can just nail those.
On the high proof, you taste
Yeah.
the flavors that are in there, and then you make. Usually, we're sitting in front of the master distiller, and you make the master distiller like so happy that you tasted what he was trying to get, right? So, and you had no idea what he's trying to get.
No. And I'd say, "Oh, this is really tastes like apricots," or "This is like pineapple," or
So, but
even one place we were, I said it tasted like strawberries, and he said something else, and then he tasted it and went, "Oh no, you're absolutely right. That really has that dried strawberry flavor."
Yep. And then the other aspect, well, let's get into the next one. All right. So this one here we picked up early on. This is the double oak one. It's a small. It came from Peerless. They have these small barrels, and they had this release. And when we got there, they didn't have the big ones, but I always prefer the small bottles because we just do tastings, right? Yeah. And so this one,
it's perfect.
It's perfect, and it's up
this
there.
This has a really nice color.
Yeah, it's dark.
It's this beautiful dark amber. That's the first thing that stood out to me when we.
Yep, this is the single barrel double oak one. Double. Yeah, and we are talking about. This is Peerless, and this is what I like. This is the part of Peerless I like. I'm okay with the cinnamony taste of their regular bourbon. I'm not like their Peerless rye it's okay for me.
Mhm.
But this double oak, last year it was up for the bottle was up for bourbon of the year. Now, see, like I said, that's fantastic bourbon, and it's got a lot of the same sweetness. It's a little bit older because
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure this proof of this
it
single
has to be a
barrel.
higher proof.
I'll tell you, it.
I think for me, that little bit. I mean, I love high proof bourbons. Don't get me wrong.
No, this is playing on the same playing field. What does that say right there? Here, I'll get you it. Look at this. See on the bottom? Can you here?
I don't know.
Give it to-
113.8.
Really?
Yep, I knew that was a higher proof.
Oh, okay.
I really enjoy high proof bourbons.
Look at I thought it was 90, but it was 56.90.
Zero. No, it's 113.9. But to really get all those flavors, I like something around 90 to 100. For me, that is like the sweet spot for enjoying all of the different, flavorful expressions. This one, although it's good,
Yeah.
it's a little bit, it's spicy, it's hot.
I
right?
think
It's
the
113 proof.
spiciness of this one is picked up by the extra oak. I mean, it's fantastic if you love oak.
Right, but the finish is very oaky.
It's on the verge of very oaky, but it's not overly oaky, but it's on the verge. And then you add the spice that's there, and it's not a pepper spice.
No,
which that's
more,
one thing that turns me off is pepper spice. All right, so I just wanted you to taste that because I don't think you tasted that. All right, so this is Indiana Straight, and this one I would like you to. We've got two more after this.
Are we opening up that Maker's Mark that we never opened?
If you want me to, I will.
Yes.
Did you really not drink that one?
I left some of that.
Thank you.
You can have it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really my jam. I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong, but thank you. And what is
we
this?
can watch a couple out with water. We have some water. This is
that has a very nice nose.
This one, I didn't get to do the one from, but this is Hindustan.
Oh yes, I've been wanting to taste this.
Now, Charles Ballard Charles Ballard is not. It is a corn whiskey, which means that they aged it in used barrels. And the Charles Ballard would have been bourbon of the year for one of the bourbon. It's just so chocolatey and chocolate malt. But this is Hindustan. This is Amanda Palmer corn that.
And you really can. It's you got. There's a lot of corn forward on the nose.
Yes, this is corn, rye, and malt. Indiana corn.
Yeah,
now this is the Amanda Palmer though.
Too.
This is what Alan has naturally modified the corn, and then grows on the Dottie farm.
Yeah, you can taste
it's
that.
There. This is Indiana.
That like malted milk, like.
Mm-hmm. It's very unique, but I would say this definitely is more. It's similar to the Oceans, but it's corn forward. Yeah. So the proof on this one is, this is 4.5 years old, and the proof is.
It finishes kind of dry for
101.4. No, I know. I just wanted to put out there what's there. It's a little fruity for me.
Yeah, I was just going to say on the finish on it is very.
And there's a little bit of chocolate.
Hold on, I need to
chocolate on the back palate.
A little bit.
A little. I don't think...
It's almost like a little mango, but not as sweet as a mango. Like almost like what star fruit tastes like. Anybody know what star fruit tastes like? So I was thinking kiwi, but kiwi's too sweet, or star fruit's like a kiwi, but not as sweet.
That doesn't qualify.
And then a lot of corn.
Okay.
But that's good. I mean, I would drink that. I'm not saying that. It's good.
So
it gives you a really nice warm hug. So if you want to, sip something that make you feel warm and cozy, this would make you feel warm and cozy.
All right. So you got to rinse that out with your water, and we're going to give you this one last one before we fill these glasses with the Carter. But with that one, I was reading, and I don't think it qualifies for Bourbon of the Year, but I wanted you to taste it. I had opened it. Now this one, this one was a surprise to me.
Surprise!
A total surprise. The fact that it's in here, one, I bought this right at the distillery, but it's just their normal barrel strength bourbon. Traverse City. It's whiskey company. This is their barrel proof bourbon.
It's funny you should say that, because I was just going to say it's kind of cherry on the nose, and that's from Traverse City.
This is 115.4 proof.
Yeah, I was going to say it noses like it's a high proof. You're getting that, like, not burn in your nasal passages, but that ethanol that lets you know it's a higher proof.
That to me is delicious. It is like the perfect balance of what I want for bourbon. It's still good. I bought it.
So it does not drink as hot as the Peerless at 113.8.
No, it's not. It's
a
balance.
Little bit. It is much more balanced. It's kind of lights up the tip and the sides of your tongue in a pleasant way, whereas the Peerless for me was a little too hot. But then it goes really sweet.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty damn good.
And a lot more chocolate cherries.
Yep. And it's chocolate cherries, but that is like, so you don't expect.
That is surprisingly.
This drinks like a Kentucky bourbon.
Yeah.
And I get that they don't distill this is MGP juice.
Like in comparison, it's not as, maybe it's my love for like really buttery Chardonnays, which is what I loved prior to being a whiskey taster. So like this Oceans really fulfills that, love of mine for that warm, buttery, creamy mouthfeel. So this doesn't have that, but it has a flavors that are very pleasant and
for its proof and for what it is.
For its proof and for what it is.
I mean, this is.
I'd say if you were at the store and you wanted something.
Yeah, but this is just their barrel proof. It's
nothing.
It's a signature. So this is a blend of multiple barrels put together. And
it's very good.
Damn good, right? Mm-hmm. So we're going to taste the Carter to finish up. I think this doesn't qualify. But I wanted you to taste something.
Well, I thought we won't finish up completely because we're going to open up that Maker's ice cream social.
I can get it. Yeah, we can do it. But let's taste the Carters.
Put it in this thing.
We're going to treat this. That deserves this. This is a bottle. This is Mark Carter. Oh God, that was too much. I didn't want to put that much in there. Let's see if I can do this without spilling on my pants. Oh, nope. It's on my pants.
It's on your pants. You're christened.
Shit.
Well, this is not a pouring back in glass. It's
a
wide mouthed glass.
I mean, it's just looks, it looks like I spilled.
Very nice nose.
This is a collaboration.
A little fruity.
Oh my God, it's so good. This blows away everything we just drank. It's not even fair. It's not. This is like a combination of all the good things we did. There actually is the part of the oceans that's so good in there, but there's a little bit more proof to it.
Yeah.
And then there's a little bit of the Traverse City in there. There's a little bit of, it's like all in one, unbelievable. This mixture is Old Carter. There's Old Carter in here, but then there's Mark Carter's barrel company who goes out and buys barrels of whiskey, and then there's Bardstown Bourbon Company all in one. Now, I mean, now what makes, just analyze this with your fantastic palate. I could drink that whole bottle in a night.
Yeah, it's that high proof drier finish though that
It's there. It's the
wouldn't make it in the classification of my bourbons of the year. But
this is 160.2 proof. No, I'm just kidding.
no, that's
109.3. I want to say that 108.3 maybe 109, 108. What's 54. 108.3 proof.
Has that dry taste like sherry. To me, I taste that like sherry.
I get a cherry, like a sour cherry on the end.
Like sherry.
Tons of caramel chocolate. It's a party in your mouth. Every time you drink it, there's another flavor. That's why I like it. It doesn't count as a bourbon of the year.
Because it's...
All right, so let me we'll grab the Maker's Mark. I don't know if you're gonna... we opened that and I was hoping it would taste way better than what it did. All right.
What? You've already opened it?
Of course. So it's been sitting, so I'm glad. I opened that with Brandon the other night.
Oh.
He wanted to taste it, and I basically said, we open all bourbons.
Okay.
So you can rinse out one of my cups too if you want.
Sure.
I'll drink the water. Just pour it in and I just drink it. There we go. All right. I'm back over here.
Well, if you don't know, I love Maker's Mark. Maker's Mark is, when Jeff did a podcast about on the shelf, right? What's on the shelf? And Maker's Mark doesn't disappoint for a what's on the shelf.
And just their standard Maker's Mark.
We did Jeff did a blind tasting once. His favorite of that Maker's Mark was just...
That tasting defeated me. I have Maker's Mark. I love Maker's Mark 101. I like my Maker's Mark bread pudding.
Where's your
right here?
Glass?
I like them, all of them. And I thought that
you for sure were going
to wood finishing series. Mm-hmm. We had like 6 different ones, and we put them in order. And of course, we went from the bottom to the top.
Yep.
And the last one, it was between Maker's Mark and I believe, I'm not exactly sure, but when it got revealed,
or something,
it was just like, once again, I was revealed for blindly picking, and it wasn't even close. I'm telling you, there was a caramel richness that was happening with the regular Maker's Mark that we had. Ooh. That wasn't happening.
That does smell like confetti vanilla birthday cake. If you took a big caramel drizzle and poured it over.
Ice cream social.
Yeah, it does. That's a very accurate description. At least on the nose. You can smell vanilla and candy, sweetness. All right, let's see.
Confetti.
Mm-hmm.
Confetti
like vanilla
frosting.
Confetti frosting. Yep.
Anne is watching. Cheers, Ann.
Cheers, Ann. I guess taste-wise, I wanted a bolder taste, like from what the nose was. I expected it to be
I'm sorry.
bigger. But
now
that's really good. It's very tastes like vanilla frosting. Okay,
yeah.
A vanilla frosted confetti cupcake, folks.
As it finishes, it goes to ice. It goes creamier.
Creamy. Mm-hmm.
The finish is where the ice cream is. That's crazy. That wasn't that good. I'm glad I opened it.
That doesn't disappoint.
With the breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that on the level? Did you want to put that back up? Do you want one final taste of now that you've tasted them all and put them up? Let's see if Oceans, clear your glass. I don't need to. You clear your glass and tell me if you still think
there really isn't. There's out of all those wonderful flavor expressions of Maker's Mark, I believe there was only one that I could have said take it or leave it, and I think it was chai tea. Was there one called chai tea?
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
One I was like, take it or leave it, and I love chai tea, so I expected
but I mean, what we were doing tonight,
like toasted marshmallow was amazing. What was there one called caramel macchiato or caramel? I don't know. We have all of them over there, and
pecan pie.
Pecan pie was delicious.
That was caramel mocha.
Caramel mocha, yeah, that one was great.
And Anne will attest to this, is that Maker's Mark, when everybody was making their picks of the barrels, they were named, and too many people were like, is that flavored whiskey? How does that work? What's making it taste like that? They didn't understand that when you're tasting whiskeys, the flavors that you're picking out is very, very subtle. Yes. I mean, it's subtle. You get it. I mean, overall, a lot of times, there's what I always seem to try and stray away from is if the spice is too much, pepper, jalapeno kind of spice, a Tabasco kind of spice, or if that's too much, it seems to mess with the flavor. Now, some people absolutely love the spice, right?
Yeah, if it's without it, they don't like it.
Right? I mean, there's a couple brands, Old Forester for me, Elijah Craig, and Four Roses, where the spice really nails the living crap out of it. If it's
just
too much,
nosing this again, I gotta say it. Just
so do I get to play
this? Oh, you gotta take more.
Well, I have a question. When I saw that bottle last time, it was much more fuller. Have you been hitting that down here?
No, I
without me. It's all you're telling.
Maybe a couple times.
I just had to. You come downstairs, you know just where it is.
Times.
You know where it is.
All right, everybody. If anybody can find a bottle of Oceans Weeded Mash Bill Journey 29, you send it to me. You will be my new best friend.
We can just go get it.
I know. Oh my God, that's just the nose on it.
I mean, I have to say it's good.
It's so.
For me,
it's just okay. So I love butter. Okay, I love butter.
Butter rum.
The nose on this smells like butter rum. It does, or butter. Just that buttery.
Well, that one barrel that Rachel and Rebecca
and
at Neely, remember they called it butter rum?
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, it was a good barrel.
It tasted like butter rum. Anything that and smells or tastes like butter.
And Royce was like, you can't name barrels anymore to Rebecca. She's like, but it does. He goes, everybody thinks it's freaking rum. Can't name whiskey butter rum.
Call it butter heaven then, or butter. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you could put out 10 bourbons and I would be able to pick this one out. Well, so things that just light up your olfactory senses. So we all have, our smells attached to memory, attached to our taste buds, attached to our experiences. And there's even a little bit of salty caramel or butterscotch candy in this, you know.
So based off of what I was tasting tonight.
So for me, I smell it and I get this warm, cozy, wonderful feeling like I could just sit down with that and sip it forever.
That's like you sound like Howie in what was it Benchwarmers when he was going in the sun. No, him, the guy, the actor, what is his name, that played Howie?
I don't know.
He was also
in
in Blades of Glory when he was asking him to wear his skin
suit.
Yeah, that's like that's what you're like. I want to wear this bourbon.
If I could
skin.
wear a Jefferson's bourbon skin suit, I might.
Well, you are wearing their T-shirt.
Yeah, that's
so
why I
close.
wore it because it was the clue to what my.
So let's wrap this.
But it's not the flavor for everybody, is what we
I don't know. Everyone. I don't know. That one is a pretty good flavored whiskey. Tonight, I wanted to bring attention to some of the other stuff that's out there for you.
Yeah.
To put it up there.
I would say this would be my, like, out of all the things we've tasted, that's number 2. Number 3 would be the Traverse.
It's number 2.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Number
3
would be the Traverse City. Number 4 would actually be this Pawpaws.
But why would you?
So that's a surprise.
Why would you make? Wow, you just took that out. Why would you make billions when you could have millions? Anyways, so
I know you're gonna hate me. Okay, so
I don't hate you
out
for
of all
anything.
the things you put out, as 1, 2, Traverse City 3, 4, the Hindu Stand 5, and the Bardstown Bourbon Company 6.
So the Old Carter now.
That's just me, folks.
All right, let's just do one more.
Oh no, another? I'm still okay. I'll save my Oceans for.
I want to see
later.
what you think of Lost River.
Lost River. Never heard of that. There's
So
something in there that isn't water. Oh, you can drink that.
That actually was Hindustan Falls. Oh, I've got water. Here's water.
High quality H2O, folks.
We got some high quality H2O. It's not the devil.
Devil.
It's not the devil.
Oh, that smells weird.
It is. This is this is a multi-grain.
I was going to say it smells like
it's got buckwheat.
Burnt licorice.
It's got buckwheat.
Buckwheat? There you go. That's what it is.
It's a multi-grain bourbon. Like multi meaning
I'm not saying.
Yeah, well, you got to taste it. I just wanted to know what you thought.
Ote.
Oh my God, what the hell? Give her some bourbon and look what happens.
I've been sipping like droppers full of bourbon.
Whether
I have
you
a
think
little
it's
more
I've been
tolerance than that.
Wait, I've been sipping droppers full too, and I can feel this. What do you do? 42 different droppers. See, I love to challenge your palate. That is pot stilled with like.
Okay, I was just going to say this is pot stilled, 100%. It tastes like pot stilled.
And so, I mean,
it's warm and cozy feeling. It's hate me, but I would want to put this in like hot apple cider.
There's no hating for anything, especially when it comes to Alan Bishop and what he makes.
Is this an Alan Bishop thing?
Yes, it's Lost River, Spirit of French Lake.
Oh yeah, good job, Alan.
There you go. So, anyways,
that's good. So I would slam that into my. I would make that number 2.
That's number 2 behind
I would make
the
that
ocean.
number.
But we
2.
haven't gotten over the so, and I know that I can't overcome.
The nose tricks you though a little bit.
I can't overcome that. Now, have you ever had? Well, no, that doesn't count, and we're going to stick to the program.
That's tasty.
Is there any? I mean, I didn't get. Oh, there's one last one.
One last one.
Nope, that can't be because it's
What is
finished
that
in
exactly?
wine barrel. What was what?
What you just gave me.
That was Lost River.
Lost River? Let me see that bottle.
Yeah, oh, it's right here, and courtesy of CT picking that up for us
nice.
when he was down.
I would say, folks, there's really nothing. There's nothing. I don't want to say the word bad, but nothing that you wouldn't like thoroughly enjoy that Alan Bishop has created at Spirit of French Liquor.
So, do you think does this count because we picked this up in 2023?
Is that ours? Is that our pick?
Yeah. Can our pick be the bourbon of the year?
So I was going to ask you about that because our pick was so good that it's almost difficult to taste anything better. But I didn't know if our pick could be the
Our pick is this is a bourbon, and this pick was
because it was
it's a wheated bourbon,
ridiculously good.
It was complex with lots of butterscotch, and yes. Now I have a couple things to keep tasting.
Oh Jesus, the nose on that is insane.
It's better than the Oceans.
It rivals the Oceans. I would like to sniff them side by side. I'm going to sniff them side by side.
Oh Jesus!
What is in here?
Pour.
Not Oceans.
Yeah, that's the Oceans you were saving.
Oh, it was. Oh yeah, it is.
So why are you pouring more? You have enough.
That's not enough in there to sniff. That's like a drop. What comes out of a drop? Not enough.
All right.
Okay, here we go.
How much fun is this?
Oh my gosh. Different, but equally appealing to my olfactories. So, smell is really important to me. I work with essential oils. I have a very, as Jeff would know, sometimes to his detriment, I have an extremely sensitive nose.
She can sniff bed bugs.
What?
She can sniff bed bugs. We can walk.
No, the other day we're in the bedroom and I'm like, I smell something bad. Something smells bad. I don't know what it is. Something smells bad. And so I inquired if he knew what smelled bad.
I kind of knew.
He didn't tell me though. And then he came home for lunch the next day and sat down at the kitchen table and I made him lunch. And I'm like, oh dear God, you smell like ass. Like that's the smell that I smelled yesterday that I said smelled bad. It was your bibs because you were dumping my dusty old shit at work.
Yeah.
And he stuffs his bibs way off to the corner by the hamper,
yeah.
You know.
Okay.
And anyway, that scent was impregnated into my nasal passages.
Okay, and look at her nose. It's like set up for sniffing. It's got big, look at her nostrils have to be like 3 times bigger than mine.
That's true.
So there's no way you could get away with anything from her olfactory.
I'm a sniffer.
Yeah.
So the Dalton's a lot is sweeter on the nose, sweeter for sure.
It's pot stilled. It's not column stilled.
Right. So you could say, you know the difference between a pot stilled.
So we're gonna put officially.
But there are some still in the Jeffersons. There is that
maple
buttery syrupy thing that you just can't. That I've never tasted or smelled anywhere else.
In my opinion, this is going to come down whether you like chocolate butterscotch better than you like maple.
No, it's going to come down to the finish.
Well, I'm going to
because the finish to me is the make or breaker for any.
So what'd you just drink?
The Dalton.
Yeah, and the Dalton finish is still. If you like it, it's way longer. Finishes on a level of insanity. I still can taste it. And I haven't drank anything for like about a minute.
See, it's outstanding, right? It was an outstanding pick.
We picked it.
Mm-hmm.
It was obvious to me the whole time once we tasted it. That's what I wanted.
That burnt, but not too burnt sugar sweetness that comes out in it.
Patrick Taylor says
for a long
absolutely
time.
Amazing. He loved it.
Yeah, it lingers for a long time, but it's. See, I don't want to say this the wrong way. That flavor just consistently perpetuates, right? From nose to taste to finish. And it's long, goes on and on and on and on and on. It's still kind of lit up my mouth in a really fun, party in your mouth, pleasant way, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not super complex with a lot of different notes.
Yeah, but its complexity is what it tastes like.
But
every single time you taste it, every single time,
sure, I just different. Said that. Yeah, it's.
Sometimes it's chocolate, sometimes it's apricot, sometimes it's butterscotch.
Well, right now it's apricot-y on the finish.
On the finish, yeah. But chocolatey on the palate.
On the palate, yeah. But now I've sipped it for a while, and it's it's got that lovely.
But sometimes,
have you ever had a chocolate dipped apricot? That's what you're in for.
Yeah, but sometimes you get chocolate dipped butterscotch.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, and sometimes. You'll have to figure this out before.
Yeah, I mean,
before December 5th, on December 15th, you're going to have to figure out which one you're going to want and what, I'll have you taste a couple other.
Well, I kind of already know.
Okay, but folks, Russell's 13 is coming. We'll have a Russell's 13
we'll
to try that. The stag that dropped today here in Ohio, it's the most bizarre stag I've ever tasted. It's got an orange front, orange zest front.
Yeah, which I was like, do I really want my bourbon to taste like oranges? I don't know.
It just depends on who you are. If you love oranges, but I'm a Kentucky guy that loves the, just absolutely loves that caramely rich flavor. And then, but what Alan pulls out with the pot still is insane. So anyways.
And there's a definite difference.
Yeah, there is. Let's see. All right. So just wrap things up for, talk a little bit about your bourbon journey, and we got to get going because
my bourbon journey.
Yeah, I mean, start to finish.
For those that don't know, I mean, I drank amaretto and I loved oaky Chardonnays, buttery, oaky. I don't like the Chardonnays necessarily that are aged in, metal casks. I liked, would always look for like Australian, really oak forward, heavy
Chardonnays.
Buttery Chardonnay.
Yeah, you liked
less tannins, more of that smooth, and the super sweet stuff.
And buttery. You like buttery, oaky, buttery Chardonnays.
Yeah, if it's smooth and buttery on the tongue, I was like all in. Not to say that I don't like the fruity ones. There are some fruity ones that are delicious, but that was my palate. I thought that when we were younger and you drank Jack Daniels, it was awful. Not that Jack Daniels is awful. I did not like the,
mapley charcoal flavor.
I did not like whiskey in general. I thought it burned out my whole mouth. And
yeah, that's because we were young and young.
It was not only that; it was because I didn't really understand that in tasting bourbon, you're supposed to
taste
like,
it.
taste
not,
it.
Not
Like,
try and drink it as fast as you can to bypass the
not
taste.
put it in a Coke and drink it. Okay,
But
I didn't like Jack and Cokes.
You have
but
not had a chance to revisit Jack Daniels. Now,
but I love Jack Daniels Black Label. That's delicious.
But I think what we need to do,
Black Label is very good.
We need to have you on an upcoming podcast revisit Jack Daniels, because Jack Daniels is 80 proof. And I
probably would love it now.
No, I don't know if you'll love it, but it's going to be a completely different experience.
Yeah, I've gone back to it. I like Black Label. I've enjoyed Black Label before.
The thing that I like about Jack Daniels now, what I love, is their barrel strength. They make a barrel-proof Jack Daniels, which is fantastic. Yeah. Now, regular Jack Daniels is, my dad loves it, still loves it. I brought him 5 different expressions, a single barrel. I brought him the honey. I brought him the Sinatra. I brought him the
I think I tasted the Sinatra and I liked the Sinatra.
Well, the Sinatra is by far my favorite.
Yeah, I think I really liked that one.
So I'm
just saying, when I was 20 years old, 22 years old,
well,
and that's what you were drinking.
When you were 22, we were not drinking Sinatra.
No, you're drinking just Jack Daniels.
Yeah, but right. What I've had here... But once again,
I had family members that like Scotch, and so there was always Scotch at my parents' house. Dewar's, not a big fan.
Blends.
Yeah, was not a big fan of that at all. I love brandy. I would brandy, old fashions, just sipping brandy, Bacardi and Lyman. This is kind of crap compared to the stuff we drink now.
Although I still would probably
drink
some Bacardi Lyman. Yeah, I would do that. We just had Rolling Fork. Yeah, we just had.
And I loved, Cuervo Gold. Make me a Cuervo Gold margarita. I'm down, right? So chicks drinks.
Yeah, but now with CT, he needs to make you mezcal margarita, or he needs to dose high end.
Mezcal is smoky, so.
Not too smoky. It's smoky in a good way.
So it's the reason why I was never a huge fan of Scotch, because I did not like that overly peated, smoky flavor. But I will give a shout out to, Liberty Pole.
Yeah,
because
we came home with that.
Peated bourbon was outstanding.
It wasn't smoky. It was charry.
Yeah. So I love to smoke my drinks. So I like the smoke flavor if it's subtle. And so we bought a smoker and a whole bunch of different, chips.
Got them all.
Pecan, apple. We pretty much have every kind of chips. I'm not a super big fan of mesquite, but I love all the other pecan and apple and, hickory and whatever else we have down there. We have every kind. So I love that smoked, but I also like the herbals because I'm very much into the herbals. So I love that rosemary, that herbal flavor. And that's not everybody's palate for whiskey to have those herbal flavors in there, but I really enjoy that because I love the cardamom bitters and I love the herbal,
But
always did.
The last thing I'll say about your palate is that she's just like she is in real life. If she does, no, she is brutally honest.
That's true.
If she doesn't like it, she'll let you know it. Now she borders on asshole when she doesn't like something. Borders on it. She doesn't go complete.
I don't go full asshole.
No, just borders on it. But because she's like that tastes like shit, and it's like then she looks at me and she goes, "How can you drink that?" And I'm just like, because I like it. But at the same time, no, she said it exactly how it is. Totally judgmental, and you don't know what you're fucking talking about. So it's like, but that's why she says it's fine in that little cute voice.
Sometimes when you are tasting many things, right? You taste many things. At a certain point, he's like, everything is fucking good.
Well, that's the difference between me and you.
For me, I can taste 20 things, and I will never get to that point.
No, but the problem is, all bourbon tastes good to me. I've not even come close.
Clearly, folks.
So even a crappy bourbon that some people think is crappy, I still like. So when I'm trying it, if you get a bourbon that I don't like, you're making some shit bourbon. But her, on the other end, she doesn't think all bourbon tastes good. And she's good. Even some that I think are spectacular, she might think there's a flavor in there she picks
I'm
up or
like,
doesn't
oh,
like.
I'm picking up a little bit of this
It's
chemical taste, or I'm picking up a little bit of the funk, or I'm picking up it's a little too dry, it's a little too ethanol.
But
it's
just so you know, some people love funk. Like, for
I'm
instance,
not saying they don't.
It's so
They
bizarre
might.
because the Pappy that was aged in the rum barrel that we tasted at what is it, Starlight with Turner, up against the old Rip Van Winkle that he put in the bottle. The old Rip Van Winkle was caramely and vanilla. It picked up the vanilla from the rum, caramel from the whiskey that you love in Pappy Van Winkle, and it was there, and it was crisp and clean.
I mean, I might pick Pappy 12 as my bourbon of the year, but we're not going to have any. So,
but the Pappy 15 aged
isn't
barrel
that what
of
I had
rum
with Martin at the?
Yeah, that's what you
We'll go see that reel, right? So Martin, thank
No,
you,
that
Martin.
was actually
Love you,
that was the
Martin.
12. Yeah, that was
Bought a
just
pour
got
of Pappy 12 for me when Jeff was off talking to somebody else.
What's even crazier is I was just doing business and somehow What do you mean sure? I mean, it's ridiculous what you're implying. I was talking to somebody to find out.
You weren't doing business, you were socializing.
No, I was actually trying to find out information.
Oh, you were on it.
And then I got and then somehow
well, they missed it just the same.
I did. And it was say it before you could say it to finish up. What did you say on the
Too
video?
bad, too sad.
It's like if I don't behave, that's exactly that's the face and everything. So everybody, all right. So I think
we had fun.
Yeah, tonight. Yeah, actually, we're at an hour and 12 minutes.
Oh, good Lord, that was long.
Yeah, we put
How'd that happen?
Yeah, exactly. That's what bourbon does. Love you, dear.
Love you too, honey.
And just remember,
lipstick. Well, that's another fun thing. You always say, how can you taste bourbon with lipstick? Doesn't everything taste like your lipstick? No.
Well, you just tainted if I would drink bourbon right now, there's lipstick. That's all I taste.
Girls don't taste it anymore.
Okay. Anyways, that explains a lot. All right. So www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all Scotchy Bourbon Boys things. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X, and then all the major podcast formats. But remember, listen, subscribe, and leave good feedback. Please. It's all very important for us. And also, December 15th, Friday, December 15th, 7 p.m. at Gervasi Vineyards at the Still House. Yep. We are having our annual Scotchy Bourbon Boys Christmas party. If you are listening and you want to be part of the group, you need to come and visit us there. There's going to be great pours, good food, good music, and good company because all the Scotchy Bourbon Boys are going to be there. CT, Roxy, myself, also then Whiskey and Super Nash is coming up from South Carolina. All of us are going to be there. We're going to have a good time. And it's our Christmas party. We're going to do pregame here at 6 p.m. at my house.
Yep.
So that's a good one because I'm going to try and pour some of this whiskey in
people's you want
glasses.
Drink? Come on down.
Yeah. Come on down. We're getting close to our Elijah Craig barrel proof pick.
Oh, it's good.
Contact me on Facebook if you're interested. There's some bottles left, but we're getting down. We're getting down
close to the
cutoff. So, yeah. I got to have a few that we can sell to people who want more, but we're down to the last 25 bottles. So contact me on Messenger on Facebook, or if you have my email or also my phone number, feel free to text. But with that, good bourbon equals good times
and
good friends, and great wives. And remember, drink responsibly, don't drink and drive, and live your life dangerously. Little Steve-O's going to take us out.
So show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. For if we don't find the next whiskey bar, I tell you we must die. I tell you we must die. I tell you, I tell you, I tell you we must die.
All right, that is done. Let me get this going. We're still live on Facebook and YouTube, remember, dear.
Yeah, thanks for everybody that joined us on Facebook tonight.
Patrick Taylor said he agreed to everything, and he loves the Dalton. I believe he's also signed up. I think actually at one point he signed up also for the Elijah Craig. So that's awesome. Everybody that pick, contact me if you're interested. That Elijah Craig pick was
and don't forget the bourbon balls. We're gonna
this
make the next batch.
Yeah, the next batch. So we should be getting on that soon. And then also we got t-shirts and we've got Glencairns if you're interested too.
All good Christmas gifts, right?
And they'll all be available at the Christmas party.
Yep.
So check us out for that. All right, I'm going to save this real quick. File publish to uploading. What's great is I don't really have to worry about how I title anything anymore because AI now completely controls everything. Isn't that cool?
No.
Yeah, it is. So if you read all the stuff on online and when I do the podcast and everything, the AI writes for me now.
Thank God.
And actually, it does a really, really freaking good job. Sometimes I'm surprised at how good it writes. It's just like it sounds like
not hard.
Well, I feel bad for people like Steve Coombs and Fred Minnick when they write, because I swear to God, they like use them as the template for doing the AI because some of the tasting notes they say, and it's like, while it's doing this, I can go here, I'll go here. Let's go online right here. I just want to read real quick the last, go here. Okay. I will read the last episode of what it wrote. Okay. So the headline was Journey into Art and Science of Spirit Making with Turner Wathen, founder of Rolling Fork Spirits. Okay. Which was great because I didn't want
it. Title.
Because it's a whiskey podcast. He finishes the rum and whiskey, so it didn't even mention it. But listen to this. Pour yourself a glass of comfy.
And get comfy.
Pour yourself a glass and get comfy. This episode is a journey into the intricate world of whiskey and rum with Turner Wathen, founder of Rolling Fork Spirits. Our conversation roams through the art and science of spirit making, unearthing the secrets how he's reviving age-old family traditions and creating standout spirits in a bustling market. We get an inside peek into Turner's innovative approaches in aging and flavoring that makes his rums and whiskeys the connoisseur's choice.
That's outstanding copy.
I mean,
God bless you.
But like y'all, that's not something that I can even concept. I could never conceptualize that. El Presidente's watching. Hey, man. He says hi. Yes. And then we delve into the rich tapestry of flavor that make rum and whiskey such versatile beverages and how the aging process can transform their final taste. Turner unpacks the story behind his remarkable 22-year-old single barrel product and the unique 9-year-old bourbon cask. The rum, often overshadowed by its whiskey counterpart, gets its limelight as Turner shares the exciting creative process behind its production. From the intriguing complexities of barrel-aged rums to the distinctive flavors brought about by wild yeast and the finesse of blending, this is a thrilling exploration of the craft.
Oh my God.
I mean,
it's
could,
romantical, is it not?
I could never
We
write
couldn't even dream of
anything
writing
like that. It's like, he goes, listening to Van Hagar and drinking Bardstown Bourbon Company KBF single barrel. You opened it? I have not opened it. I can't bring myself. But we were tonight, Mr. El Presidente. We were drinking the Carter.
Mm-hmm.
We sampled the Carter.
Yeah, it's very good.
That was some good stuff. But I still couldn't get Roxy off this Oceans. This Oceans, that Voyage number 29 weeded is
it just does it for me.
At this point, it's her pick. I tried to get her off of it, right?
It didn't work.
Nope.
There's just something about it that
you just like to. You like to touch it. You like just to like to type it, not touch it. His favorite thing is butt chugging. It's what he just said. Butt chugging. Yeah, awesome. So you read the last part, the last paragraph.
Oh,
because I'm not.
We also touched on the business side of things, revealing Turner's experiences working in Ohio, a controlled state, and his views of the industry's distribution dynamics, financial aspects, the fascinating role of wild yeast, and the vast potential of his products all come under the spotlight. The episode wraps up with the invitation for all spirit enthusiasts to visit Turner's home, allowing you to experience firsthand the unique flavor of his rum. So sit back, savor your drink, and immerse yourself in the captivating world of Rolling Fork spirits.
Randy's just like, he's just kidding. He's not really doing the butt chug. We
what
figured
is a
that
butt chug?
That was what young people do.
They chuck their butts?
No, chug. They basically pour the spirit.
I know what they do, down their ass and into the.
She says, "You're so cute." Sorry, Tiny. Yeah, there's no doubt.
I've seen it.
Why? Wait, we're not talking about butt chugging. We're talking about you. You're cute. Just
thanks, Randy.
Catch up. That's like a backhand insult to me. He's like, Tiny. She goes, Roxy is so cute. Sorry, Tiny. Anyways, all right. So
if I had those big, like, doughy cat eyes with cute little anime things going,
Randy lost his funnel.
I lost my funnel.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's because you were using whiskey to cleanse it. And it's in the bucket in the garage.
We're digressing down a path right now. Right?
You heard what I said, right? It's in a bucket in the garage.
Yeah. A bucket in the garage.
That's where I keep my funnels.
Where the butt chugging happens.
The butt chugging. Oh my God. Anyways, got anything to? We're done. We're saved and we're done.
We're done. We're saved. We're saved.
He says, "As you were."
As you were.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, for sure. I'm going to pull us off YouTube first.
Sounds good. Thanks, everyone, for joining us,
including El Presidente. We really appreciate the.
Miss you, Randy.
You missed you missed it last time. That's for sure.
I was doing my job, catching babies.
All right, let's take. You can go last time. Let's see who. Cheers, everyone. We had some people watch. I got to figure out how to get off of YouTube. There it is. You want to stop streaming?